My mom is a straight up hoarder,
Yeah.
and my dad wants to move. So for the last 6 months, I have been sneaking around selling out of their house in secret. So I walked around, I took pictures of everything. And then once I post everything online, and when something sells, my dad puts it aside and he puts a little wooden box out there. And
Yeah.
then somebody comes and picks it up and leaves the cash for him. So we've been doing that for 6 months.
I love it. Welcome back to the chat room. I'm here today talking with my former college roommate, Jamie. Welcome. And today we're going to be talking all things about your work ethic and where you've gone in your life and so much more. So let's get started. You worked originally with your dad's family business, right? When you were younger?
Yes, it started young because my father immigrated from Germany and his father started his own glass business and which he took over. When I was young, I got to watch him hustle my entire life and work dawn to dusk, work his little tail off and come home exhausted, fall on the floor, couldn't move. So he worked himself overboard. So grew up watching him do that my entire life and going in with him. And, he would pay me, he'd pay me $1 to sweep. He'd pay me $1 to organize glass or, take out the recycling, whatever needed to be done around the office. So that's how we earn money as kids.
Sidebar, do you pay your kids to do stuff around your house or no, because it's not a business, it's then considered chores?
There are certain things you have to do at jobs where they can earn a little extra money if they're feeling ambitious. And then when they go to my dad's house, out of 20 for sweeping, which, you know, he goes a little bit overboard, but
Well, grandparents spoil their kids, so giving them
oh
20
yes.
to sweep, that's like the grandparent thing to do.
Oh yes.
So I remember in college, you actually bought a house, which is very uncommon for college kids to do. Can you speak to that? I mean, you still own the house, right? You still rent it out?
Yes. So my parents gave me a choice in college. They could, because they were paying for my partial college. I was very fortunate to have that, to have them help me out with schools. Gave me the choice. They said housing at this school is kind of crazy. So we have, you can make a choice. You can either stay on the housing on school, or we can put that money toward payment on a house for you and you can rent it out to other college kids and you can own your own first piece of property. So the first 2 years, I didn't do it. And then the third year, I finally, after reading, more into real estate investing, after talking to my dad a lot, I decided that I'm going to go for it, get the house and do it. So we bought the house, and like I said, they gave me the money they were going to put towards my student housing anyway. So it was kind of a no-brainer of wasting it on school housing, put it into an investment. So we did that. We went house hunting. My dad had to come with me because 20-year-old kid is not going to be able to find a house by themselves. So thankfully, I had the support of my dad, who, knows what he's doing when it comes to estate investing, because he's been doing it his whole life. So helped me find the perfect house, helped me haggle the heck out of that perfect house, and we wound up with the house. And then, after the fact, my dad helped a lot with the property management, because while I did grow up with him doing a lot of handiwork, I still needed a lot of help. Like when we first bought the house, it was a 3-bedroom, and then we put up an extra wall in the living room to make a 4th bedroom.
Remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so that way I would get a 4th income for a 4th room. So we did some things, I had to update the kitchen and stuff like that. But then I was able to, have my own room and my own space. And then I was able to rent out the other 3 rooms. And in a town like Monmouth County, where we were, I was actually able to rent the rooms for $700 a month. So the rents from the other rooms completely covered my mortgage. And I was able to just take care of, basic utilities or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was living for free in college because I was able to rent out the other 3 rooms, and we were able to get a good deal on the house.
So smart. If I could go
Yes.
back in time and do things differently, like that's a good idea to look into.
Yes. So unfortunately, in my case, because I bought the house just before the real estate took a deep dive, it would have worked out a lot better had I, had I not bought at that specific time. I do think it's a great idea, but in my case, the only reason why I still own that house, because I'm just getting back to where I was. It's just about now worth what I paid for it because the housing market took a poop right when I bought it.
So you have actually bought and flipped, right? Houses or that and how beneficial that is?
Every house that I bought for personal use, we have bought and then, bought a deal house, like something that was not in shape, fixed it up while we were living in it, and then moved on to, I want to say, a bigger, better house. So the plan is, you start small and, fix it while you're living there, do things that are going to increase value to the house. And then at the end of the day, you've lived there, but you've also increased your investment by doing whatever fixes you're doing in the house. Anyway.
Back when we were in college, your major was IT or computer science. What was it?
My major was software engineering.
That's what it was.
If I had to go back, I maybe wouldn't pick such a specific major as software engineering. But it is what it is. And then, so I used that major and I worked for the government for 10 years as a computer engineer with that degree. So they had a really cool school program where they hired students at Monmouth, and it was called the Student Career Experience Program. So they hired kids that were still in school, and then you were pretty likely going to get a job as soon as you graduated, as long as you went through the program when you were in school.
Yeah. And so then you worked there for 10 years. What is it like working for the government? I've heard mixed reviews. So did you enjoy it? Would you have chosen a different career path?
I think it's definitely mixed reviews depending on where you are. I moved around 4 or 5 different offices while I was working for the government. So there are definite stereotypes about government workers and all that. And I think, it's true in any business or anything, anywhere you go, there's always going to be people doing nothing. And, there's always going to be the people working their butts off to get ahead. So I was able to move around, and I definitely learned a lot, and it is definitely part of me. It's just not where my passion lies. I picked software engineering for the wrong reasons. I picked it to make money instead of actually finding something I love to do. So it is what it is.
What would you, if money was not an issue, career was not an issue, what would you go back and major in?
I really don't. I'm so all over the place that, if I had to go back, I might have not even went to college, to be honest with you, because anything that I'm doing now, I don't even need the college degree. I don't know if that's what you're looking for in this.
I'm looking for honesty.
But if I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I even would have done it. My dad's business needed someone to take over. And had I went full force into that, I could have had his company. So who knows?
In high school, you did band, right? Or did you do choir, or did you do both?
I did all of it: band, orchestra, choir, music theory, music production. I was very into music. So my junior year, if you had asked me what I was doing, I would have said going to Juilliard. That was what I was doing. There was no question.
Wow.
Um, so something got in my head about struggling musicians and how it's hard. And I want to say that the driving force between that and going software engineering was I knew more than anything that I wanted a big family. And I felt like if I was struggling trying to be a musician, I would never get big family. So I kind of chose from a very young age family over profession. So that's how I wound up here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big choice to make when you're that young, but you ended up with a big family, so it worked out.
I did. And I grew up, I was watching the Kate+8 and the, 18 Kids and Counting and all those big shows. And that was my dream at that time in my life. More than anything, I was babysitting a lot and I just wanted a big family. That's so more important than what I was doing. And I didn't know, realistically, they say, you can't have it all. So I was trying to be realistic in the fact that, do I really want to take a chance and not have, what's most important to me?
Yeah. I mean, well, now, and we're going a little bit ahead of things, but now you're a TikTok mom, right?
I am. I have joined the glorious movement of millennial moms on TikToks, and I love it.
Cool. I saw
Yeah.
your one post. It made me laugh that you were, like doing something along with like the cabinet, the squeaking.
Yes. So this is how it started. My kids asked me if they could download TikTok, and I had never heard of TikTok. And from my quick Google search about it, I was like, no, that looks so shady. Like,
Oh,
no, I don't want you on that app at all.
yeah.
So my daughter is basically a lawyer, and she just kept on it, no, I like that. Just download it. You'll see. She was like my little just bug in my ear. Download TikTok. Just try it. So I downloaded it, to see if they could. And I didn't put my phone down for, I think, 24 hours. Like, I just scrolled through the TikToks and I was just cracking up on the floor. And it was amazing because, you have Facebook where everybody's fighting. You have Instagram where everybody just looks perfect all the time. And then you have TikTok where it's like everyone is just real and having fun. And that's why I like TikTok because you could just go and you could post the stupidest thing and you'll get other people saying, like, whatever. They'll support you for whatever you do. If it's the dumbest thing, they're like, hey, good job putting yourself out there or whatever, So it's just fun. And so we've done TikTok. So now I did TikToks with my kids. So I had it for like probably a week by myself without my kids. And I was like watching TikToks in secret. And I was like, trying to not let them know that how much you did. Because there is still inappropriate stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
So once I got the hang of like using it and how to like filter out the bad stuff, then I finally let them get accounts. But I did give them rules for the accounts on what they needed to do to keep the accounts. And here we go.
Brave new world in your house. So how do you handle it? Because like you're very tech savvy, your husband's very tech savvy. Computers, I feel like, play a fairly big part in your lives. How do you handle computer time and like those rules with your children? Are they good about following them? Are you really strict about them?
We have tried just about anything. Now is a little weird because we're in quarantine. So I think everybody's kind of thrown the rules out in quarantine because that's just the way things happen right now.
Yeah.
But as a normal day, I think it's unfortunate, but my kids never really had the time to even screens on like school days. So I mean, they would use it a little bit on the weekends, but I don't think my kids experienced the screen addiction that so many other kids I see in so many other kids. Like I definitely see their school friends and whatever texting them and they want them to respond right away because they're always on their devices. But my don't do that. My kids put their phones down and walk away from them because that's big in our house. We don't carry them around. We leave them on the charging station in the kitchen, and we get to them. So I'm trying to instill I don't even know what it is, just like a healthy non-addiction. Like, I don't want them to feel like they have to be chained to the phone.
Yeah.
So I know that frustrates people for me, because I can't tell you how many times people are trying to get a hold of me and I'm nowhere to be found because because in my point of view, I have a phone for my convenience, not for anyone else's. So if I don't want to answer the call, I'm not going to answer it. Even if I've seen my phone ringing, like if I'm in the middle of something with my kids, or even if I'm just playing a video game by myself, like I won't answer the phone even if I hear it ringing. So I'm trying to, you show by example, saying that, there's more important things than this. And I think, I don't know, there's two sides to every story, right? My view has always been, I gave them phones right from the get-go, like probably 2 years old. I just hooked up my old phone on the Wi-Fi and I handed it over with appropriate apps on it, and I just let them use it kind of as they want.
Yeah.
For our family, because it was never a forbidden thing. Like, it was never like, no, you can't have this, or it's like candy. You say no, you can't have it, and they want it more. So I was kind of always under the impression that if you don't turn it into a big deal, then it won't be. And I have no idea if that's actually true in other houses or not, but it's definitely true here. We have screen time. We have apps on their phone that show us what apps they're using, show us what like everything. Yeah. My husband has them locked down.
So, getting into some other topics, I know that you've had a plethora of jobs. So what is it like working as a mom, doing the full 9 to 5 and also having kids? And then we can also talk about how you are the queen of the side hustle. You never just have one thing going. So if you want to talk a little bit towards that stuff.
Yes. So I've been on both extremes, I think. When I first started having kids, I did have the 9 to 5, and I was very career oriented. So I was very quickly moving ahead in the workplace, and I was putting in way too many hours, and my kids were at daycare all the time. And, I definitely had that life experience. And then Haley was born, I went to part-time for 6 months. So when my second was born, I did part-time for 6 months, and I had part work, and then I was home significantly more. And now I'm full-time stay-at-home mom. So I get to basically do whatever I want. So I think there are personalities that definitely fit each category better. Mm-hmm. For me, I was happiest working part-time out of the house, and then, being able to spend a lot of time home also. At work all the time really was miserable for me, because the whole time I was distracted and, thinking about all of the housework I had to get done and all of this and all of that. So, I mean, that never really worked for me. But I can say that the happiest time in my life was when I was working part-time. Or I don't have the motivation to be productive at home all the time. So I think that's my problem with staying home. So I think it is what it is, but so that's why you're the queen of the side hustle, because I'm always looking for something else to do that kind of breaks up the monotony and just, does something. So, last summer I took all the kids to sleepaway camp, and I worked as the arts and crafts director while all my kids got to experience sleepaway camp for free, which was a huge life experience for all of us. So the year before that, I worked at Mad Science, which is a summer camp. So all my kids did that for summer. This summer, I did get a job at a summer camp, but we're not going because it's canceled because of quarantine.
Were you
But
going to be at the same camp that you were last year?
no, I was at a camp down the street called JCC. So they have the same program as the Sleepaway Summer Camp. They do all activities like the Color Wars and everything, but it's not a sleepaway camp.
Got
So that would work better for our family situation. But
I'm really actually sad that camp is canceled because, as you know, I also work for summer camp every summer, and I just wrote an article on it actually about how like I didn't expect to be as like nostalgic and like missing it as I am.
yes,
But yeah, it's definitely I don't know. Sleepaway camps are a unique experience. They're like a world all of their own,
yes.
and I love it and I hate it and I love it.
And I'm always looking for something to do, that can add to our life. When we moved here, there's a YMCA down the street. So I got a job there at the Y, so that we could, get a free membership and do, put my kids in whatever I wanted, half price. So while only, and I get to pick, what hours I want to do. It's super flexible. So I'm looking for stuff like that right now where I can fit it in and still make a little money on the side. So I'm a true believer in looking at your life and looking at what you're doing, seeing how to monetize that, which basically means like in my old town, we didn't have buses. All the parents had to drive their kids to school, but it was a huge pain in parents' lives because not only did you have to drive them, you had to park the car, then you had to walk up to school in the elementary school because they didn't have like a drive drop off. It was a very weird situation. So I saw that situation. I saw the frustration in all the parents, and I said, well, I have a minivan and I'm driving to school every morning anyway. So I started charging for my seats in my minivan. So every day we could pick up and drive them to school. Every day after school, we would drop off. So I would be like the little Jamie bus. So we did that. And at $10 a kid a day, I got extra $40 in the morning and $40 in the afternoon, just doing something I was already doing anyway. So I'm a true believer in, if you're doing something, like if I'm this summer, I'm going to be doing camp for my kids anyway. So I put an ad on Facebook saying drop off summer camp, and I did 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. And I already have a lot of inquiries about other kids that want to participate also. So already doing the camp for my kids anyway, because I'm not going to sit at home and do nothing all summer. So an easy way to monetize that is just add kids to the mix and make money while we're doing it. We are fortunate to have a huge backyard and a pool, and I have the ability to, make the fun summer for my kids and others. So why not?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So fun. I ran a summer camp when I was like in high school, and I can't believe my parents let me do it. But yeah, I remember the parents in the neighborhood just being like, heck yeah, take my kid for 3 hours, please.
Yep. That's all you need, a little break up in their day, especially in this situation. So we'll see what's out.
Have you been missing going to concerts? I know you like to go to, Backstreet Boys and, all your concerts. And we haven't been able to because of coronavirus.
Yes, it's killing me. I've watched, all the couch concerts they're doing through iHeart and ABC and whatever. And we, a giant concert in our living room, but it's not the same as live music. I mean, we frequent jazz clubs and every kind of music. So I'm missing everything. There was a drive-in concert in the town that I live in, but by the time I clicked on the link, it was sold out. And I was so, I love how much people are missing that. This one of our favorite restaurants here was doing a drive-in concert with some local bands and sold out in under a minute.
That's
Like a
wild.
local little thing.
Yeah,
You know, everyone's really, missing that.
yeah, for sure. How much
Mhm.
fun is it though to be able to share your love of like the boy bands and any other artists? Like I've seen your kids, like they're into it now, so that's got to be cool to have it cross generational, you know?
It is. It's one daughter in particular is more into it than the other. So it's, it's crazy watching her choreograph her own dances and write her own songs
Yeah.
at 9 years old. And, you know, it's awesome. And I can share that passion with her
Yeah.
of teaching, because we have instruments here. So teaching them instruments, seeing what they're into, seeing what they're not into,
Yeah.
obviously sharing the Backstreet Boys. What else is there that's better than that?
I mean,
So
one could argue In Sync is better than that, but
not really. That's not a strong argument.
in my mind it is, but it's fine.
No, but I won ticket to see the Backstreet Boys front row, and I took Haley with me, who was at the time, I guess she was only 8 at the time in the fall. Yeah, so I my 8-year-old front row to see the Backstreet Boys, and still to this day, she talks about it all the time. She says, "Hey, mom, you remember this song from the concert, or you remember this?" And it's just like, and it was honestly the best moment of my life. I know you're supposed to say like your wedding or the birth of your children, but honestly, front row at the Backstreet Boys was the best moment of my life. I'm not even kidding.
I'm not cutting this out of the video, so your husband
I already told him as soon as I got home. I
All right,
said,
okay.
I don't think anything can top that. I've peaked. That was it for me.
So to wrap things up, is there anything that you would want to share with people either in college or, getting out into the industry or young moms, any life information that you think would be good or something that you would maybe change or redo if you had the chance?
I think what I tell my kids all the time is if you want something, you have to read for like 100 hours before you can actually act on that, right? So I'm really big on planning and knowing what you're going to do before you do it. So for me, it's like if my daughter she was interested in music. So I found a music production class and I said, all right, so if you read, I gave her 2 things to read. I said, write me an essay on learned from these 2 things that I gave you to read, and then tell me if you still want to do it. Like, there's no sense in wasting your time
Yeah.
if you're not going to follow through. So I'm a firm believer in, I think a lot of people waste time doing this and doing that because they don't really think things through, or, whatever the reason is. I think if you're willing to learn, even, like me, if someone has a different opinion, if someone wants to teach me about something, I'm willing to listen to anyone. So that's the biggest thing I have in my life is I'm always learning. I'm always reading. I always have audiobooks going in the background of whatever I'm doing. There's an audiobook on. I'm vacuuming the pool. There's an audiobook on. So I believe in like personal improvement is constant. So I don't know. I don't know if that even makes sense.
It makes so much sense. It's very wise. You're a forever learner, and I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. And then just a few fun little things at the end. I know you used to work at a movie theater. Do you still have a popcorn maker at home? I remember you were obsessed with popcorn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I have it right over here. Past the 1,000-piece puzzle. There it is.
Oh my God, like movie theater popcorn. And the secret is like the flavacol, the salt stuff.
Yes, I have all of the original movie theater ingredients. So we have movie nights at least once a week.
Yeah.
It's important family life for us. Or we make a whole bunch of popcorn and watch a new movie.
That's awesome. What new movie have you watched in quarantine that you really liked?
My kids never saw Zombies and Zombies 2. And I know those are huge in any kind of kid world. We just, I guess, miss them. So I think we're late on that. But Zombies and Zombies, that were actually really cute movies. And the songs are so catchy. So
Really?
literally, we have the soundtrack playing, and I'm singing along the whole time. The songs are so catchy. But yeah, adult movies I usually fall asleep through. My husband is the one who's into the movies, so he'll start a movie like every night, but I'll fall asleep about halfway through every time. So I haven't seen a full adult movie in a really long time. But we do watch the Arrowverse or whatever those are called. I don't even know. All of the DC, Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, the MCU, and then I'm not so familiar on the DC one, but yeah.
Yeah. We are super into those at the moment. But yeah, as far as movies, Onward, I've seen that. That's another kid movie.
I saw Onward. It was cute. It wasn't my favorite. It's Pixar, right?
It was on Disney Plus, but I don't actually know who it was by.
Anyways, I saw it. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it was good. I mean, it still brought, a tear to my eye because they
Yes.
all do.
Yes, it was the first Disney movie that addressed like the fantasy, which I thought was cool because I guess we're all very into the fantasy world here at our house because we play so many video games and card games and whatever. So we thought it was cool. I guess if you're not into that, yeah, you don't get it or you don't enjoy it quite as much.
I know that they were like kind of referencing a little bit of like Dungeons and Dragons and
Yes.
stuff
I mean,
like
it's
that.
a whole world. It's a whole fantasy world. So, to see those races and classes, whatever, brought to life is
Mhm.
cool for a kids movie. They do a lot of that in adult movies, but
Yeah.
then if you're not into it, you just don't watch those movies.
What's your favorite game that you guys have been playing in quarantine? I know that you just mentioned, you're big gamers.
Yes. Video game is we play here something called Heroes of the Storm on Blizzard, which is a game which is perfect because there's 5 players on a team and there are 5 of us. So we make our own team.
Nice.
But as far as board games, we just love anything strategy.
Mhm.
We even do a lot of just chess. But we love this game called Goblet. We love Stratega.
Oh, I played Goblet against like your youngest, and he beat me every time.
Yes. Yes, we have so many. I can't even pick. Girls love Catan Junior. They love Ticket to Ride.
I love Ticket to Ride.
There's too many.
Let us know where we can find you on social media.
German Jamie everywhere. In video games too, if there's any video gamers. I think I'm German Jamie everywhere.
Okay. That's easy enough. German Jamie.
Yeah.
No
That's
numbers
me.
at the end or anything? You were able to lock down German Jamie?
I have German Jamie locked down on everything. Like everything. Not even Instagram, but I'm talking about video games, like servers where there's like a million people.
Yeah.
I'm German Jamie on everything because I'm the original German Jamie.
Jamie, thank you so much for joining us today. And hopefully we will have you on a future episode of our podcast, the one that I do with my friend Dee. And anybody watching, stay tuned. We're going to have more things coming out soon. So, bye.